So I just got up, I don't know, hour ago. I wasn't able to go to work today. It took a lot out of me. I meant to go to work, but I couldn't sleep last night. Okay. So I did UCLA yesterday. And the first person I saw, I only saw women yesterday, which to me matters. I really like when my medical professionals are women. Some quick highlights before I get started. Both the surgeon fellow and the actual doctor stated in my notes that I'm not jaundiced, although the doctor did say that there's slight jaundice in my eyeballs, which is true. But that in itself was a huge victory for me. It matters to me not to be jaundiced. So, it doesn't look like I'm going to need a transplant anytime soon. Nobody's going to come out and say that because I still have to finish the process. But everyone I saw today, except the surgical fellow, because that wasn't what she was there for. She wasn't there for diagnostics. She was there to see if my body could handle a transplant. And she said, yeah. So, but like the doctor, the transplant coordinator, who is not the nurse I had before, it's another nurse, a woman. And then, oh jeez, the last person I saw, it was just yesterday, and I guess because I'm still tired, was a social worker. And again, her job wasn't diagnostics. She was more there to gauge, whether I'm suicidal or, have any underlying mental conditions that might affect me, which was great. She talked to my primary caregiver, and my secondary caregiver is trying to get in touch with her today, which is nice. But between my PCP and the hepatologist that I saw yesterday, it's looking pretty positive. Nobody's going to say, you're not going to need a transplant. And there were two things that stuck out with me with the hepatologist. I looked at her on the internet, and it doesn't say, I think she's I'm not sure if she's a hepatologist. I think she's, whatever. She's the doctor that I saw, and she's the one that's going to be following me. One of the first things she started saying, she's like, I'm a little confused why you're, and then she stopped herself because she realized that there are reasons why I'm there, because there are some things in my numbers that are crazy that cannot be explained by celiac. For instance, the swollen spleen, the bilirubin of almost 9, which it's not almost. Obviously, it's not. It's probably around 3 now, if I'm cleared up, and maybe even it's back to normal, because I've been cleared up for like, I don't know, a week maybe. And she's like, sometimes when I can see that someone probably doesn't need this, I will halt the process. But she says, in my case, she'd like me to finish it, one of the things that's really important to me, and I've been screaming this since I took the test, the NASH FibroSure test is not appropriate for what I have. So all of the things that say I have cirrhosis, that one test, that's the one single test. And even she was like, I don't like these proprietary tests, because like, what are they testing for? They're, we don't know. She's like, no, I don't really put a lot of stock into this. And actually, sorry, going back, I'm very tired, so I'm probably gonna have to do another video after this one, and maybe even another, because there's a lot. So one of the things, first thing she said when she walked in, she's like, so when were you diagnosed with cirrhosis? And I said, well, there's not really a lot of evidence I have cirrhosis. And she agreed with me. And she agreed with me pretty quickly, because there isn't. I'm not bad-mouthing the gastro doctor, because even though she may have been a little premature in getting me into this program, she did it because my numbers were not good. I had a bilirubin of 9 just out of nowhere. So I get it. I'm not mad at her. I'm going through the process, and I'm happy to go through the process. Well, happy is not the right word. I'm not happy about this, but it's nice that all the things that I've been thinking and saying she agreed with it. That test is bunk. That I probably don't have cirrhosis, and if I do, one of the things she said is, because I'm so compensated, because I'm doing so well, and if I keep on this path, it's possible, even if I do have some cirrhosis, that it can clear up. Maybe. But she didn't say it's going to. She's like, I'd like you to finish this, and of course I'm going to. I have something today, all day next Tuesday, and then all day on March 20th, and then I have various follow-ups with that doctor. I'm just going to call her the hepatologist, just because it's different from my PCP and my gastro doctor, so it's just it makes more sense to me. Whether or not she's actually a hepatologist, she's hepatologist adjacent, at the very least. She's not a surgeon, so that was very positive. She looked at the palms of my hands. I didn't see anything in notes, so whatever she was looking for, she didn't find. She tapped my stomach, and in the note, she said my bowel sounds are normal. There's no distension. She said my abdomen is flat. Like, my abdomen is flat. I've never heard that in my life. Like, I've always been fat my whole life. So to hear her abdomen was flat, I'm like, wow. It's just one of those weird little things. But yeah, she was tapping, and I could hear it go, sounded kind of hollow, and I was like, oh, please don't let there be anything wrong with my liver, like, swollen. Apparently not. So I have a follow-up appointment with her in 4 weeks, but she says because I've seen her in person, she'll just do it for video, which is great. That's already scheduled. Today is the psych. I've already done the questionnaires. It's mostly concerned with family history and whether or not I use drugs. And it's like the first questionnaire was like, do you use illegal drugs outside of your prescribed medications? And I'm like, well, yes. It didn't ask if it was cannabis. And then the whole thing was like, do you ever lose work because of drugs? Have you ever lost friends because of drugs? Have you ever been in accidents because of drugs? I'm like, geez, it's freaking marijuana. Like, if you could just let me put that it's cannabis, and so you don't think I'm a heroin addict. But eventually in the questionnaires, like, second to last one, they ask what kind of illicit drugs or non-prescription drugs you use. Cannabis came up a lot, because I'm not going to lie to these people. And the nurse, the transplant nurse coordinator, she asked me what kind I use, and I said I use edibles, and she's like, okay, well, that's good. They might ask you to stop, but in general, they ask people to switch to edibles and not to smoke, which, yeah, I've always preferred edibles to smoking. I don't like the way smoking feels. Plus, I have asthma. I mean, I'll vape, but, like, not tobacco, just weed. But, that's not good either, really. So I try to curtail that a little bit. I try to stick mostly to edibles. And, like, our dispensary here, where we live, they know us, and they know that I'm celiac, so they went through every edible they have, and they're all gluten-free, so... I did see they have chocolates, which I can't have, but... Well, I mean, if they have something in them, I can't have them. The punch bars. I used to get those a lot, because they're inexpensive, and, you get, like, 100 milligrams for, like, $12. But... At the dispense... Ooh! My time's running out. I'll have to make another video real quick. Be right back.